Hello, and we're back.
You told me last week that I can't say we're back.
Yeah. No, I think we're going to just have to make it our motto.
Okay. So
Guys, my voice sounds really weird today. Actually, both of our voices sound weird. We're both sick. Yeah, we're both sick. But we still had to come live for you guys, of course.
Very, very consistent.
Yes.
How are you guys? I need some interaction this week. So if you're on and you're watching, because I know a few people have said, oh yeah, they're going to tune in. So if you're on watching, drop a comment so that we can greet you and say hello.
You want to say hello back?
Yes, but just for the formalities, as you know, we are an accountancy and business consulting firm that deals with all accounting services. And from that, we have birthed the accountant community.
Yep.
In that community, we service business owners who need a platform to just network and understand how to run their business and ask questions. We also have a network for young people and students that want to get into accounting that probably don't know where to go, who to ask questions. We've gathered them all in one space so that we can offer opportunities, we can speak to them, give them advice and guidance of how to get into the industry.
Yeah.
So that is Accounted Community. And then from that, we've also birthed the Accounted Live, where we come and speak to you every week about hot topics.
Wednesday.
Hot topics in accounting, leadership, in general, personal development. So it's just a space for
training lessons. Yeah. Literally everything that we can possibly give to you.
Conversations to run. So like I said, if you're new, make sure you follow us, make sure you subscribe, make sure you click the bell as well so you don't miss any of our videos. So yeah, this conversation this week, we will be speaking about women in leadership.
Women in leadership.
As you can see, we are women.
In leadership.
Yes. So that is our topic for tonight. So stay tuned so you can hear what we have to say. Hello guys.
That was a quick break.
Yeah, it was. But we're back this week, and like I said, our topic is women in leadership. So for this week's industry hot topics, we're actually going to give you guys some more information about.
But before the industry hot topics, we've actually got a video. So yes, I think so. We spoke about accountants last week, and we spoke about going to accountants, but we wanted to show you the feedback for two of the members of our community that actually joined us for Accountex. Yeah. So I think that video is going to play next. And once that plays...
Hi, my name is Jessica, and I came to Accountex with Accounted. Today was really insightful. I really learned so much about the world of accounting and the fact that accounting is more than bookkeeping and audit as we know it. There's a lot of advisory into it. And if there's one thing I learned is to continually keep learning. And there's always so much more that you can learn about accounting.
Hi, I'm Rachel, and I was invited to the Accountex event by Accounted, and I think it was a really insightful experience, especially as someone who's not really too sure where they want to go in accounting, because I'm quite relatively new. It was really helpful to know where I might want to specialise in and kind of lay out my future plans and kind of predict where I want to go in the future. So I'm really grateful for that, and it was an amazing experience.
It was amazing having Rachel and Jessica. I mean, I always love it when the students and Dion came,
she had to leave
and she didn't have the chance to make us a video. But I always love when the students come out of us because it's always an opportunity to teach and give back and just. I love when they ask questions. I think I put up something on our Instagram saying that they're getting bolder and bolder. I remember the first day we went, because Rachel was there on both days.
Yeah, she was.
So the first day we went, I think when we got to a lot of the stores, I was leading the conversation, and then I'll be like, okay, I've got my intern. She has a few questions. Yeah. But on the second day, you could see her just approaching people. Yeah. She became so much bolder in like networking, asking questions and things like that. So it's always good to kind of see that development.
It is.
When you take them out.
Honestly, because I think one thing that I think we even spoke about afterwards when I was speaking to her, she realizes that you don't get those networking opportunities. And I feel like that word networking is so like So when people say, oh yeah, network, is like, oh my gosh, like, what do I do? Like, what do I say? But you realize it's literally just conversations with people and actually getting to know people, because as much as you want to network with someone also wants to network with you.
Yeah, by the time you said hi, the conversation starts
flowing.
But in your head, you kind of...
What do you do? It's like... The whole
in your head, you kind of have that whole thing of, oh, this is going to be so awkward.
Yeah.
But no one is ever going to be like, no,
exactly.
Well, you might find the odd person. That would be mad awkward.
Yeah, I think
the problem isn't you if that happens.
It's them. Exactly. So I think what was really nice is just to see their growth over the 2 days.
Definitely.
And see how they've put themselves out there and said, you know what? One thing that Dion said that I really, really liked is that her coming, she actually realizes that what they teach in school is not enough.
Yeah.
So for me,
it's not enough.
It just drives us to know that, okay, the whole community, there's actually a purpose for it. Because her coming, there was so many questions that she had that were answered in just a few talks.
Yeah.
And for her, it was just like, okay, this is amazing, because without the community, I probably would never have the opportunity to attend an event like this. So
exactly.
I think for us, last week was really, really good. And aside from bringing the interns, I think even us personally, like
Accountex, there's always so much for you to learn.
Yeah, so much.
Always, there's always so many good tips.
Recover from it. But it was amazing to see. Oh, we have a viewer on. Hi.
Okay.
Okay, so are we gonna go into the hot topics now?
Yeah, okay. Hot topics.
Great. Okay.
And we're back. These transitions are going
They're so quick
They're
today.
catching us off guard today.
I know. But yes, we're back, and like I mentioned, we're speaking about hot topics, and the topic today is women in leadership.
Yes.
So I think leading up to this, researched a few things, because I think we know, and we've mentioned before in our previous conversations, that women in leadership positions is very, very hard to come across.
Yeah.
I think one thing that we always say is that we fall into all the minorities, young, black women.
Yes.
But aside from that, we're kind of focusing on just the minorities of women today. And you actually realize that, okay, in the world, as much as it seems like, okay, people are progressing and people are getting into new spaces, women are still very, very behind.
Yes.
Like extremely behind.
Very behind.
And you think in the world of social media, where you can see a lot of women doing great things, you think, okay, women are really moving forward and making grounds, but you read statistics and it's like, okay, what's happening?
Have you got some statistics for us today?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Let's hear the statistics.
One of the statistics that I read, and it was speaking about women in C-suites, so women in either the CEO positions or CFO positions.
CFO, CEO.
It has decreased by 10%. So I think it was 42%.
Yeah.
But in the last couple years, it's gone down to 32.
Gone down. So it's gone down to 32.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was reading that, and I think the first thing that I was questioning was why, because you read things and you see about, okay, the girl child doing so well in school, and it's like women, they come out of school with better grades than guys. So it's like, okay, why is it that women are lacking to actually get into these certain positions?
And I feel like we all kind of have an inkling of like the reasons for that.
Yeah.
And I think there's a number of things that kind of go into it.
Yeah.
I think as many women grow and get a bit older, I feel like that fire for like vision, that fire for like fulfilling your dreams kind of slowly dies.
Yeah.
And that's with all due respect. And that's like, obviously I'm a woman.
Yeah.
And I've had a child.
Yeah.
So I can actually look at it from the perspective of being a woman and being a mother.
Yeah.
And I think it's, once you have a child and all the responsibilities of a child comes, it's so heavy that also to continue dreaming and to continue looking at a vision, continue building can also be very, very difficult and very, very burdensome on your mind, on your physical body, on everything. Like in previous videos, we've spoken about like how I graduated, like all the hours that I would spend like going to schools, doing this, doing that, and just not sleeping. And of course that has a massive toll on your body, like physically. I remember there were some days where I would have excruciating headaches. Some days where I would just like, the days where I could sleep, I would just suffer with insomnia because I'm so used to not sleeping and things like that. And I think sometimes if you don't have someone that's like pioneering a vision for you or someone that's like constantly pushing you, it's very difficult to keep that fire going.
Yeah, I think honestly what you said, it mirrors what the articles were saying.
Oh, really?
Well. Yeah, because a lot of things.
And by the way, when I don't ever read the articles. I don't ever read the hot topics before we come on.
To you guys.
Yeah, Nana brings the hot topics to you guys.
But there was 2 things that were said in the article that I was like, okay, wow, it's important because it's, as a woman, like you said, you want to have those things. You want to have a child. You want to get married. But it's like, it's almost also seems like you can't have the two. Yeah. You can't be in that leadership position.
Can you have the two?
Then do that.
Can you have the two?
That's a whole nother conversation.
I think you can
have the two, but there will be some sacrifices that you 100%. Will have to make that may seem unconventional. Yeah. May seem that, okay, you're going against what culture and what the world expects.
Yeah. But I think you can have the two.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to have the two.
Yeah.
And I think that's often do I want to say the blurred line? Is that everyone thinks they have to have the two.
Yeah. To make it.
And it may be a bit controversial, but I think for myself, I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of happy that I kind of got into it very young. So I had the baby. I had the living with your partner. I had almost getting married, the engagement. And I think the pain that came with that, definitely made me not want it again. So
sure.
Yeah. No, actually, I won't say it made me not want it again.
Yeah.
It made me realize that it's not a priority as much as I thought it would be a priority.
Yeah.
I definitely think that having a child is a blessing and it's a great thing, but I definitely don't think it should happen out of time. I think now that I've had my daughter, if I had seen my life now and gone back, I wouldn't be so worried about having a kid so young. Because I think everyone's like, I want to have a kid in my 30s, I want to have a kid in my 20s, I want to have them young. Like, I would not have thought about having, like, I wouldn't be scared if I was like 32 and I still didn't have a kid.
Yeah.
Like, I would be very content with it because I would actually realize that if you have a kid at the right time, you will really enjoy your time with that kid.
Yeah.
If you have the kid at the wrong time, I don't know if you can give them the best of your time.
Yeah.
And I think that's what this article kind of shows, that many people have a child, would we say, at the wrong time, and then because of that they've actually got to compromise that career, that vision, that drive that they had in order to have the best time with that child. But if you kind of like, I feel like you can time your life, you can kind of like plan it out. As much as like things happen spontaneously, I think you will kind of know the right time to have a child if you really follow the footsteps in which your life is meant to go. I don't know, I may be saying it a bit too deeply, but I really think, like, honestly, if I look back, I knew everything that I knew now, I would have definitely not had a child as young as I had a child at all. No way. Yeah.
No, because even reading that, so I'll read one of the things that was said, is that having to stall careers after childbirth due to inflexible work policies and underlining gender stereotypes as well as workplace discrimination is one of the key factors that women don't make it as big as men. And I think even reading that, one of the articles was saying that women make up 30% of executive committees, as in 30% of them.
Yeah, and I think I even read something that 50% of the population is women.
Yeah.
Or even more than 50%. So that actually means that women should overcome, because there's more women on the world, they should overpower men.
Yeah.
But it's the opposite way around.
Exactly. Yeah. So even in me saying that the 30% of women hold those executive committees, only 6% of them are actually CEOs. in top 350 companies.
Damn.
6%.
Yeah.
As in, they're the ones that make things run, but to actually be at the top, only 6% of women actually.
Only 6%. Only 6%.
Like, I don't think you guys are realizing.
Oh my
6%
God.
is less than like 10%. Less than that.
That's shocking.
So even another thing that I read was that, okay, women experience higher rates of burnout and they're more likely to face microaggressions, which significantly impacts their career position.
What's microaggression?
So, for example, a microaggression could be like a woman. It's almost like giving an example of it would almost be like a man giving a compliment to a woman, be like, "Oh, you can actually do this job well."
Oh,
like, "Oh, you're actually like, oh, you're actually quite smart."
I hate that. I hate when
it's
people
like,
do that.
There's already a stereotype or an expectation that as a woman you can't
do that well.
Feel that.
Yeah.
So it's like saying that, like, I feel like one of the microaggressions, like looking back now, I realized that it was wrong. But like people always used to tell me in school, like, "Oh, you speak well for a black girl."
Oh.
But it's like I never really thought that was like a bad.
What are you meant to speak like?
But then it's like, okay, but then what's for a black girl?
Yeah.
Because
what's a black girl? Yeah.
Of a black girl supposed to sound like?
Yeah.
So it's almost like as a woman saying that, "Oh wow, you can actually fill the CEO role well." It's like, what do you mean, wow? Like what?
So it just shows, like, as a woman, in order for you to like succeed in a mentorship, a leadership role, you have to have your mental resilience has to be on 100.
Crazy, because even here, one of our viewers has said they're sitting on the board but truly not being allowed to lead.
Yeah,
and that's literally the sad reality.
Yeah, because I even think I was watching like Instagram, and they were like, a woman shows passion, it comes off as aggression.
Exactly.
I can't remember the other ones that they were saying, but they were always saying that the misconstrued concepts of like a woman, like in the way she or a woman like does a sexual joke, she's seen as a promiscuous. But if a man does that, he's seen like an alpha male. And things like that. So it actually just shows you like
the perception of what a woman can do and a man can do. It's just so. It's so off. Like, I think another thing that I read that I was like, wow. So even when we finally do get into those positions, it's still almost like categorized. It said that women are more likely to be in management roles, which are feminized functions. So like the HR or admin, like they'll be the head of the admin department or the head of the HR department because it seems as more like
those are women's jobs, like they're women's roles.
But then in male-dominated industries, like for example, like construction, you'll never find, like, it will be very, very hard to find a female that's leading a team because it's like, oh no, this is a man's job. Whereas like the admin, it seems like, oh, it's pretty and just stapling.
You don't break your nails.
Exactly.
Your hair doesn't get wet.
Exactly.
It's not dirty.
Even when they do get into that positions, it's still very much like, okay, no, you can do this, but you can't do that.
Yeah, but do you think that's ever going to change? Do you think those stereotypes will ever change?
I don't think they will. And that's not me saying that I don't think women can ever get there. I think those stereotypes are so embedded into our culture. Like, it's so embedded into it will take like even in day-to-day, like growing up as a child, what you learn in school, you realize that those underlying things are like they're taught to kids subconsciously. Like it actually is.
Like a kid should do ballet, a girl should do ballet.
Exactly.
But I remember even growing up nowadays, I remember when I used to see male ballerinas, I used to find it so weird.
Like why?
Like why is a boy doing ballet? But it's actually,
I can even think to like if we're studying history, for example, it's almost like when we speak about Martin Luther King and all the civil rights movement, it's like, oh yeah, he was so strong. Then we speak about Rosa Parks. It's emphasized that, oh, she was a woman that did this. It's almost like who the femininity of a woman doing something great has to be majored on so much. So it's like even without realizing, you're saying that, okay, those type of movements and those type of things or positions that a man can get into, like a Mandela or like it's expected for a man to do that. Whereas for a woman, it's like,
I don't think it will change. I think I agree with you. I don't think it will change, but I think it can be shifted a little bit or shaken a little bit, the more women actually get into leadership positions.
Yeah.
I think if we can actually just keep on changing the narrative, keep on encouraging women, and I think conversations like this are so important. And I think like a lot of people actually reach out and they're like, we want you on to talk about be on a motherhood panel. I think it was actually Rachel Harris that reached out to me one time, and she was saying that there was this motherhood panel that happened that she would have loved me to be a part, because people don't actually talk about what it is to be a mother and run a business. And if they do talk about it, they make it all fancy, they make it sound nice, they make it sound like, oh, I take my child to work and no, I'm late to pick her up from school, I'm running after I'm running to get in the car, I'm trying to book cabs, I'm calling my sister, can you pick her up? Like it's manic. It's like there's a lot of challenges that come with it. Like some days you'll feel like you're a bad mum. Some days you'll feel like, can I really do this? Some days you'll feel like, what does your mother think of me? What does my child think of me? But there was one moment, and we're going to show videos of like what happened on Sunday. But I did want to talk about this one moment. Actually, it wasn't even on Sunday, it was on Tuesday. So on Sunday, I've gone on stage, and Amelia, who's my daughter, she hasn't seen me on stage, but she spoke about it or whatever. But on Tuesday, we had a recap of what happened on Sunday. And I came off of stage, and she put her hand out, and she was like, give me a high five. But it was like, for me, that moment was so touching, because it was like, as much as I've done so many different things that sometimes I question, are you really a good mom? Are you doing this? I actually realized that fight to be on that stage, to be that leading woman, actually speaks way more to her than me maybe taking her out all the time for fun trips. And that's not to say I do not do that, but it's not always like, it's not an everyday thing. But that little high five for me like meant so much, because it was literally like she had seen me on stage and she was proud of her mum.
Oh, sorry, that's so heartwarming. I didn't know you were gonna say that, but honestly,
because I didn't actually say it to anyone. You know, I don't really do all that stuff.
No, honestly, I understand it, and I think some of the viewers had said, like Sharon said, she used to get that all the time. I guess she's speaking about the microaggressions and stuff. Dami also said, however, emotion plays a big factor as to why women won't gain certain positions. And that's the sad reality of it. As much as we're saying that, women aren't given these opportunities, it's almost like when they are put in certain positions, they also kind of give that they fall into the stereotype as to why a woman shouldn't be trusted in that role. So then it sets us back. So that's why I said, for example, Sharon said, I think eventually it will, just maybe not in our lifetime or generation. And
it needs to be in our lifetime. It needs to be in our generation. But it's true.
It will be in our lifetime, but maybe far down the line, like our kids maybe. Then we can finally see that, okay, things are changing. And that's the sad realities of it, because as a woman already, we're so far behind that if a woman then is put in a position and then falls into the stereotype, it then just pushes us back.
And then it kind of ticks the box.
And
it's like, we knew this was going to happen.
But then that's why these conversations are so important, because we can actually be real and say that, okay, there are the days where you feel like a bad mom because you haven't picked her up on time, or you haven't dropped her off, but it doesn't mean that you're not doing well, because then you can look to a moment where you're on the stage.
What actually defines doing well?
That's the thing.
I think what we need to tackle in the next part of this conversation is all these stereotypes that just get thrown over the place, all over the place, and all of the people, or all of the women that feel like they have to live up to these stereotypes or they're not good enough. I think we're going to start debunking some of them and throwing them in the bin. Just throw them, put them in the trash, because they're not real.
You have to ask, okay, where did it also come from?
Definitely from culture. From different types of culture, from the way people act, from life experiences, because life experiences is also what causes that certain stereotypes. There will be many factors to what what causes it. But I think the main conversation is debunking it.
Yeah.
And I think Sunday definitely was a statement of debunking
Sunday
that.
Was amazing.
Sunday was amazing.
Sunday was definitely, it was almost like, you know those moments that you have where it's like, in the moment, you don't realize how big it is, how big it is, and how much of an impact you are actually making.
Yeah,
I think it was one of those moments, because it's like, oh yeah, we knew that we had gone to the summit beforehand, and we were doing a march afterwards, and we're petitioning for the girl child and the prosperity, and we already knew what we were doing. But in the moment, looking back, it's like, wow, we really were like part of something that
was huge.
It's huge.
Made history. Like like you can literally like your picture will be up somewhere like Rosa Parks.
Exactly. Wow.
No, like I was literally in the car coming home with Amelia as well.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, do you want to record a video about how you found Sunday? And she was, I can't remember the exact words that she said, but she also mentioned something like, it was just nice to see that we were able to be a part of something that's pushing the girl child or something like that. But it's like, you even don't know how much these things speak to people. Like as young as she's 9 years old, so someone as young as 9 years old can come back and say this is what it done for them. Imagine the girl that's 22. Imagine the girl that's 30. Imagine the girl that like the mother. Imagine all these other people that we're not hearing from.
I'm even imagining the unborn girl child that will grow up and see that
later.
Even before I was even a thought. There was a group of women, and I can't even call it a group because it was thousands.
It wasn't even a group.
But there was hundreds of women that came together and said, okay, not for me, because the truth is, as it was said in the comments, we may not actually get to see the things that we're petitioning for change in our lifetime.
Yeah.
But to know that we've made statements from as young as we are in our 20s.
Yeah.
In our 20s.
Don't do that. Don't do that. I'm in my 20s, by the way.
Yeah,
I'm in my 20s.
As young as we
don't do that. Because, by the way, I didn't even clock that she said something wrong.
It was getting very serious.
Which means that I'm in my 20s. Because I didn't even clock. It didn't even startle me in any way. I'm in my 20s.
But yeah, as young as we are in our 20s, knowing that, okay, this is something that we're fighting for so early on to make a change, I think it was just amazing to see. I think we have content.
Yeah, we've got some videos, lots of videos to recap Sunday. Guys, watch very well. Intently.
I know that's the word you were looking for.
That's what I was looking for. Thank you.
I am a woman. I do what I'm told. Little girl, be courageous. Take back what they stole. No more excuses. No time to pretend. Baby, the silence, it isn't your friend. Homo, homo, homo. 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 Shame will not hold me down. Pain is my stomping ground. Love has me figured out, and I am proud of who I am.
Hey guys, so this Sunday I had the privilege of joining Pastor Toby on his political march. I must say it was the most inspirational thing I've ever seen. We were walking and representing women in leadership, walking for the girl child that may not be represented in high areas, in political areas, in high areas, in companies, and I think it was definitely one of the best experiences in my life. As a female leader in the accounting space, I can definitely say it gave me hope. It gave me the ability to keep encouraged in my field and keep on running until I reach the top. I will be outside with the 2000 SPAC women when we do the next march, and I hope you will join me too.
Hi guys, so last Sunday I had the absolute privilege of joining Pastor Toby and thousands of young women that were on a march campaigning for female empowerment and the prosperity for the girl child. So as you can see from the videos, it was absolutely amazing. It was honestly one of the best experiences that I've been a part of. And it was so amazing to walk all the way to 10 Downing Street making a statement for the girl child. So one thing I will say is that if you missed it and you do want to be a part of the next one, make sure you're there. Contact me for more information about when the next one will be. But guys, it was absolutely amazing, and I urge you all to get a part of this initiative.
The Treasury is pivotal in fostering the financial prosperity of women. They are driven by mission, and they are determined to fund the vision set by our leader, Pastor Toby. Their goal is to ensure that all the women have financial prosperity. The elected Treasury will work closely with the Assistant Head of Finance to come up with strategic ideas to boost the sustainability and the longevity of our financial system. We will now read the bios of these women.
Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Chief Executive Officer and co-founder of Accounted Limited, with a first-class degree in accounting and finance, holding professional memberships with ACCA and AAT, also a board member of the Wealth family, where she holds position of the head of accounts office, overseeing administration of the Givers Club, and responsible for business development and innovation. Help me welcome Corinne Kobe Jackson.
Help me welcome Corinne Kobe.
That was such a very, very strong profile.
It was.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
It was.
Even though we were in the chambers, we had to make a bit of noise.
Yeah, I was a bit shocked when I even heard that profile. I didn't know that was my profile. I mean,
you forget some of all the things that you're doing.
Yeah. You know, we move so quickly.
Yeah.
We do so much. So it's like, you forget that. Last week we went to Accountex and took students.
No, I genuinely feel like, even when you said, before we get into that.
Yeah, because I had to remind you on stream, right?
Yeah, I was like, what's happening?
Yeah, it's like we do so much, so you just kind of forget everything. So.
But yeah, guys, the march was absolutely amazing. I think you've seen from the videos,
it was
how
so
many
good.
women were there.
Thousands of women.
Imagine in our hills.
You know, by the way, you know, it's a struggle to get like thousands of women like unified, you know,
exactly.
with one thing. Like,
exactly.
You know, normally they always say girls are catty.
Yeah.
Like imagine, imagine unified, like different races, different religions, different industries, different visions.
Different industries.
Everything is different. Like the woman that you're standing next to, you probably have no similarities with
at all,
except for that we're all looking for leadership within women. We're looking for equality within women. We're fighting for rights within women. And like that's what everyone was able to come together and unify on. Yeah. Which was like, honestly, it was hot. Like the song was beaten.
It was beaten down.
Like, the song was beaten down. The hills were high.
The toe was just squashed up in it. But I think in all of that, like I said before, just knowing that we've actually made a mark and we've made a statement. Yeah. And the truth is, as much as we did it, it doesn't end there. I think that's where these conversations, again, are so important, because it's like, yes, we went on the march. Yeah. Yes, we gave the petition to 10 Downing Street. But what's next? Yeah. What's next is actually driving this conversation. Exactly. And letting people know that, okay, this is what we're fighting for. Yeah. And join us in it. Because the truth is, what we're even speaking about women being lacking leadership positions, it's been for years, centuries. Like, I can speak
like
to
it's not a new thing that we're fighting.
It's not new at all. So it's like, okay, how are we going to be different in this? And it's like we did, making a statement and actually knowing. And I think social media is going a bit crazy.
Yeah, social media is going crazy.
If I don't say so myself, I've gone on and I've seen like the march posted and people's comments like, what is this about? Like, how can I get involved?
There's and if you've seen it on our page, make sure you're reposting it. Make sure you're sending it to your mum, your auntie, your sister, your grandma, your friend, your cousin, your
who else?
Yeah, I don't know. But make sure you're sending it to everyone, because that like it needs to go everywhere. Like it needs to go viral, because truth is as well, what I think is a huge statement, and this is not to say that it is a black movement, but it's also so good to see so many black women, because again, being black is also a minority, and of course we had many ethnicities there. We had Asians, we had Caucasian people, we had all different types of ethnicities. So I'm not saying that this is a black movement, but it was very, very refreshing to see many refreshing black women there.
The perfect word. Yeah. Because it's like, it's a struggle to get black people to come together. Yeah. If we're actually being honest.
So it's a struggle to get women to come together first.
Then black women.
And then black women on top.
It's like, it's a lot.
Yeah.
But just seeing no I think it goes back to our previous conversations about vision and why vision is so important, because there's no reason why we were all there except for the fact of us sharing the same vision. Someone said, hi, this is very inspiring for me.
That's Amelia.
Oh. Hi, Amelia.
Not her trying to be cute.
But yeah, like as much as it could be a joke or whatever, even hearing her say that, okay, this is inspiring for me, because we see her day in, day out, and you don't realize that these little things that we're doing actually has an impact. She can actually go into school and be like, oh, like people are sharing their stories.
Yeah, she was even telling me that it's so weird, like you'll be shocked. Number one, she came home and she was telling me that she was talking to me, one of her teachers about me or something like that.
Yeah.
And then number two, today she had a friend that so they're going on a residential trip.
Oh,
and so you know that I went to Isle of Wight. Where did you go?
Mine was called Fair Play House.
Yeah, that didn't sound great.
No, it was. It
doesn't sound great.
If anyone in the comments,
Isle of Wight was it
East London, because I think it was from East London.
Oh, no wonder it wasn't too good. No, you know, like East London.
It was actually very fun. I need Anna to comment, because I know Anna went to Fair Play House.
What sort of things did you do? Abseiling. Did you do abseiling?
What is abseiling?
You know when you like mountain climb and then you like jump down it, like down the wall backwards.
I don't know if we did that.
Yeah, see?
But there was many things that we did that was very fun. I remember we had to do the cave. We had to go through like a tight squeeze. Like it was so fun.
Oh yeah, sounds like children activities, but ours was
like kids.
Yeah, but like, ours was challenging us.
It was also very challenging to fit through a tight hole.
Okay, but anyways, yeah. So let me even finish the story. So she had a friend, and she came home, and she was like, "Do you think you can help out my friend?" And I was like, "With what?" And she's like, "I'm not gonna disclose the person's name or anything like that. I don't even know the person's name. That's the truth."
Yeah.
But she was like, her mum can only afford £80 for the residential trip, but the trip is £150. And I told her that I'll speak to my mum to see if she'll pay for the rest for me. Aww. And if we can get a discount from the head teacher. And I was just like, sure, man. I will pay for your friend to go on that residential trip. How can you, mum to the rescue? Like, I'm the hero here.
So she's correcting you. She said it's 151, not.
Oh, 151 pounds. Yeah. Okay, we've got that correction. Oh, PGL was great. That's where I went. Oh, is that where you went?
No. PGL was different from Fair Play House. Fair Play House was amazing.
Oh, PGL was Isle of Wight. I remember it being Isle of Wight. I don't remember it being called PGL though. But anyway, maybe because I'm not older than you.
I'm not saying nothing before me again this week.
But yeah, so okay, if I ask you a question, what do you think we need in order to make more female leaders?
Ooh, what do I think we need? I think there's a lot that we need, and I feel like this answer will sound very cliche and very expected, but I'll explain why.
Okay.
I think that women actually need leadership, and leadership that they can actually, I don't want to say resonate with, because I think we've spoken about my mentor and stuff, and as much as like he's older than me and he's had different life experiences than me, that I may not be able to relate to. That's the truth. But there is something that resonates in me with him, and I think it is that vision and that heart for people.
Okay.
So for me, I feel like to get women into leadership positions, leadership is needed, because I feel like as well, once women get into that space where it's almost like, okay, they're now climbing up the corporate ladder and stuff, it's very much a dog-eat-dog world.
Yeah.
And it's almost like a lot of women don't stretch back and help another woman out. So I feel like that unity is needed. And I think it's a true leader that can bring that to women.
Yeah.
Because for me, I'm looking at it that going to Accountex, for example, and speaking to many different people, it's almost like everyone's focused on making it for themselves, which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
I get you.
But looking at it, how many business owners did we meet? Hundreds of business owners, hundreds of people that are in industry. But I think one thing that takes everyone by surprise is when we speak about our community. Yeah. Because it's something that's so unheard of. Yeah. But it's like, as much as we are in those leadership positions,
and they always question why.
Yeah. And I think there was one time, I don't know, I can't remember who it was that I was speaking to, and they were like, oh, why though? Like, genuinely, like, why? Like, do you not want to focus on business? And for me, it's a genuine question, but it just shows the heart that it's like everyone's just out to make it for themselves. Yeah. But in order for us to actually get women into certain positions, I feel like it's a leader that can say, listen, as much as you've made it, you can make it so that your sister can make it, and not that you're just the only one in that space. Yeah.
I think, where I was speaking about debunking certain myths, I think a leader helps you debunk that as well. Yeah. Number first myth, you don't have to be a woman man to be a woman leader. And I think
what do you mean by that?
When I say don't have to be a woman man, many women think they have to be a woman that completely acts like a man in order to be a leader.
I get you.
No, I think you just have to be a woman that's completely whole with herself, completely one with herself. If that comes across as maybe you're a bit dominant, the things that they would attribute to a man, and again, dominance doesn't mean that you're acting like a man.
I think those are one of the myths, because why is it that dominance is only a male trait?
Exactly. But the thing is, it's more just understanding that in order to be a leader, I think the ultimate leader is someone that can be completely one with themselves. In like, they're completely predictable, like nothing shakes their mind, nothing shakes their vision, nothing shakes the drive or the thing that they're going for. And I think that's what the difference between a lot of men and women, and that's what is a struggle for women to reach certain leadership points, because men can like have very tunneled vision. Like, you know, like it's not very often that you will hear that like a man is going for something and a woman throws him off. It's very often that you would hear like a woman's going for something and a man completely throws her off of that. So it's actually, and I think that the reason why women are able to be thrown off so easily is simply because our minds are not actually very steady. Like our minds can be very scattered, if you want to put it that way. Our minds, we can suffer with a lot of insecurities, we can suffer with a lot of fear, we can suffer with a lot of all these different emotions that come around. How are those emotions being regulated? And I think the regulation of those emotions eventually will make you that female leader. So again, I can speak about all the issues of coming, like, are you a bad mom? Are you this? Are you that? And as a woman, it's very easy tomorrow to wake up and say, okay, I'm dropping all of this. I'm going to look after my kids. And because I think, like, again, when we went to Accountex, something that was constantly being mentioned is that the human brain is irrational. However, we're irrational people living in a rational world, meaning that we actually have to bring rationality, is that a word? Rationality to ourselves, or someone else has to bring that rationality. it's not something that comes naturally. So you have to. I would want to see female leaders that reach a certain point without any sort of leadership. And that's not saying that the leader has to be male. That's not saying that the leader has to be maybe an external person. I'm saying a leader like a father or a mother. You will find that there is somebody that is regulating this woman's mind.
Yeah.
And I think that's a key or pivotal factor to the success of women in leadership. What other points do you think there is?
Sorry, that point about what you made about a woman needing a leader to regulate their mind, it just reminds me of the point that we always hit, that women are so complex.
Yeah.
There's so many different dimensions.
Human beings in general are complex.
Yeah.
But then you know what it is as well? You know the fact that women are also emotional, yeah? And nurturing is also one of the key things that make them the best leaders.
Exactly. So that's what I was even going to say, that debunking those myths are so important, because I think we always say it to our interns that come and they apply and they're like, what's the best thing? Like, I think someone even messaged me like, they've applied for the internship and they got an interview. What advice would I give them? And we always speak about weaknesses. And I think that's one thing as a woman that we need to actually embrace them and use them to our strengths. Like you even saying that, okay, yeah, women can be very emotional. The truth is we can. Yeah. Let's not lie. Women can be very, very emotional.
But then that also can make us,
use
to a certain sense, relatable.
Exactly.
Because again, we can then say that more time you hear like some of the most powerful men as well, when they're getting to their place, the person that actually supports them is actually a woman.
Exactly.
It could be a wife, it could be a best friend,
Yeah.
but it's always kind of like a woman backbone, their mum.
Yeah.
And what we actually have to understand as women is just our function.
Yeah.
And function in your functionality.
Yeah.
And that's the simple thing of knowing who you are and allowing that to be.
I was going to say that.
Yeah.
Because one of the articles said that what's surprising about it is that women actually, let me try and go back to it. I touched on it about women actually having the correct qualifications, sometimes even better than men.
Yeah.
But it's like they just lack that self-confidence to know that, okay, they actually can do this role.
Yeah.
Like, you've gone to school the same way a man has gone to school.
Yeah.
You've probably had way more work experience or whatever than a man.
Yeah.
But just because you're a female, you think, okay, yeah, I can't fill this position.
Yeah.
It's almost having that assurity and that confidence in yourself that, okay, regardless of my gender, if it's a CEO role that I'm going for, I can actually do it and do it well.
Yeah.
Without feeling like, maybe a man would be better, or maybe I would be better as a supporting. And there's nothing wrong with being a vice or whatever, but if you have that desire or that drive to lead a team or lead a company that...
And a vice is still a leader.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But like, I think speaking about the C-suite roles,
Yeah.
CEO, CFO, COO, those roles, they can seem so daunting and like, I can't get there. It's like, okay, I'll just be on the committee. But actually going for those roles, as a woman, you can.
Yeah, and you mentioned something like really key to me, or that really resonated with me, is the whole confidence thing.
Yeah.
Because I remember, I think they showed the video of me going on stage, and that video was simply me going on stage, being part of a community called the Phoebes, which is a all-female community.
Yeah.
I was part of the community, and I was petitioning for votes to be the treasurer of that community. And like, that was so challenging for me. Like, honestly, it was one of the most scariest things that I've done. Like, it was so scary, but literally I had to psych myself up.
Yeah.
I had to tell myself, you know, the fact that this is so scary for you, you are doing this. Like, you're not going to back down. Yeah. You're not going to say no. You're going to do it. Because the more, again, as women, we can challenge that lack of self-confidence, challenge those fears, the more we can actually overcome them.
Exactly.
But many of us, instead of challenging or standing up to those fears, we will actually then decide to take a step back.
Exactly.
And then we'll decide, no, maybe this leadership role is not for me.
Yeah.
Or I'll say, okay, yeah, maybe this is a man's.
Yeah, exactly. Role. So the confidence is so important. Yeah. And actually facing the fear.
Yeah.
Like knowing the fear, feeling it, and saying, okay, yeah, I'm very fearful of this, but I'm still good at that.
Yeah.
In a world where they're telling you no.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's a very complicated,
it's complex. It's very complex
topic. But I think as we're rounding up today's conversation, the main thing we can hone in on is the point of leadership. Your leader can be a female, your leader can be a male. And again, this is talking to women specifically, but I don't think this is only directed to women. As humans, as individuals, we just need that one person that will keep on challenging us, pushing us beyond our measures, and the person that will just keep us in line.
Yeah.
Whether you're a man, whether you're a woman, that person is needed in whoever's life. So what am I rounding up to say? I'm just rounding up to say, join the conversation.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Literally.
Like, join the conversation, join the communities, join the walks, join the events. Just be a supporter, because the more you're a supporter of this, the more you're a supporter of everything that is presented to you, the more you will. Don't ever say no to an opportunity.
Yeah.
Like, take every opportunity that's been put on put before you. I think something that again really resonated with me today, something mentioned by Pastor Toby, was the most valuable thing that you can get is exposure. And I remember sometimes, like, there was a time when I was joining like another treasury actually, or like a finance team. And I was like, I remember sitting at the table and I was like, all I need is exposure. Like, I'm hungry for exposure. I'm hungry to see the places that I haven't been able to see before.
Yeah.
Because I actually understand that the only thing that's limiting is my vision.
Yeah.
The things that I can see in front of me now. But if I'm exposed to bigger and better, I know I will become better.
Yeah.
So
it opens up your mind to a whole new world. Things that you didn't even realize.
Exactly. So, like, as we round up today, all we're literally saying is, number one, join our community, join our conversation, be on next week, share this. What stuck out to you? Like, I don't know if we've still got people on today. We've got people on.
We have some people still on. I think my question is, okay, even in joining this conversation, what has stuck out to you?
Yeah, what has stuck out to you today? Let's see if we can get some comments. Hopefully we don't get embarrassed by not having any comments, but let's see how it goes.
So we still have people on.
Okay. So, like, let us know what stuck out to you, and those parts we're going to actually clip out, we're going to cut out of this, and we're going to post them on socials.
Yeah.
So let us know what stuck out to you.
Also, let us know what conversations you want to hear as well.
Yeah.
Because as much as we can talk for days. That's the truth. There's so much that we need to debunk. There's so much that we want to get into and uncover and actually share our experience with you guys. Yeah. But also, what is it that you guys want to hear?
Yeah.
I feel like from speaking to some of the interns, one of them was like, oh, it's so nice to be able to speak to someone that like is in a position that they aspire to be in. Yeah. And even hearing that, I'm just like, again, it's that confidence that we speak about, because I am a woman in a leadership position, but then hearing someone say that, okay, they're inspired by me, it can make me feel, oh, okay, no, I'm not ready for that. Yeah. But then it's like, no, you actually can be confident and know that what you're doing is inspiring another individual.
Yeah. So have you got any comments?
I think one thing that was said is that I think what stuck out to me was the microaggressions everyone faces and how normalized they are.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I think.
And you as the recipient also just take it.
Exactly. I think that's what I was gonna say, that you on the receiving end of it, sometimes you don't even realize that this is wrong.
Yeah.
Like this comment that you've actually made, or this the way you're speaking to me or the way you're treating me, it's not right.
It's not
but
right.
Then we go back to, it's so embedded in our culture that it's made to seem like it's okay.
Yeah.
It's made to seem like, oh, because someone is in a superior position than you, them giving you those microaggressions should be accepted because
exactly.
they will help you up the ladder.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's the conversation for today.
Yeah.
We're active on Instagram. We're active on TikTok. We're active on everything. We're active on LinkedIn. So reach out to us. I think a QR code will come up with all of our socials. Scan it. Connect with us. Tell us what you want us to talk about next week. I know this is Accounted Live. We're still trying to find our feet. I can't lie to you.
Yeah.
We talk about accounting one day. We talk about women one day. We talk right now. We talk about whatever you guys want us to talk about. We're here for the people. So whatever you guys want us to talk about is what we're going to talk about. And we will see you next week Wednesday.
Yes.
Oh, did they see us high five? Did they see us high five?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do it again. Yeah. One more time. One more time for the cameras. Start again. What?
1,
2, 3. Okay, we're not doing it again.
We're not doing it again.
But
bye,
thank you for joining us today. And bye.
Week.